Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zai. You already know what time it is, Savage. But anyways, man, before I even get into it, I want to get into, man, for the people that have been hitting me up, as far as like wondering why I'm not really putting out too much shit. Yeah, I'm just gonna break it down for you because, when it comes to this whole YouTube thing, it's a lot of backstabbing, fools trying to undermine you, a lot of pussies in the game. That, just to be honest, there's a lot of pussies in the game that are now starting to jump on YouTube. You got so many cats that be acting like, that they're really with the shit, but when it comes down to it and the heat start hitting the fan, the first thing they get to talking about is who they know and using trump cards in order to try to block you because they just wasn't really about it in the first place. So I just been really focusing on my workout, really trying to get in the gym to better my mind and my body, because for the most part, like when it comes down to it, a lot of these cats, like I said, are snakes, and that's just basically what I want to talk about, that in the whole political market, as far as like fools using politics on social media in order to not only further their career, which doesn't really make no sense because I'm just gonna be 100% brutally honest. When it comes to politics nowadays, it's you can't really take nothing from what individuals have did as far as like from the streets to like other parts. I ain't gonna get too much into it. Yeah, this fucking helicopter, hold on. Okay, I'm back, sorry about that. But basically, like I said, what I want to talk about is this whole political landscape as far as like social media and the rap games and things like that. Like when I came into the whole thing with rapping, it was just something that I had pretty much made a promise to the homies before I left the yard and was telling them, when I get out, I'm gonna do this. But understandably, I couldn't at that time, if simply for the fact when it came down to like dealing with family and getting shit situated, and not even that, just also like the things that came along with getting out. So a lot of people tend to forget that when you do shit to certain people, or when you've been known to do shit to a lot of different people don't necessarily let that go just because you're older and you got out of prison. They tend to harbor those same emotions, because for the most part, a lot of cats on the street are really emotional. It's like you take a few losses and instead of just letting it go, they want to continue it, and then they lose a couple of more people, and then they want to halfway continue it. When you do something bad to them, they want to use cops, or the first thing they want to do is go cry so people can come to your neighborhood and tell you bullshit. And that's basically what the whole landscape is about. Now let me continue what I was saying as far as politics in the game. And this is no disrespect to nobody, because at the end of the day, I'm one that really respects the pecking order, and as far as like certain individuals, because for the most part, not even for the most part, for the majority of it, if it wasn't for certain individuals, we would have a lot of struggles dealing with certain things that could transpire in prison, as far as like when you're dealing with other races, and but I'm not gonna go into that. The whole thing I'm gonna say is, with the shit that's going on the street, as far as like you got all these 2.5s and these PCs, and then cats that are not even PCs, they just have an animosity against or they have transgressions against the double S. They feel like they like to put out on their platforms about what people would do, and then you got all this, these cats are tecatos, so they basically don't run nothing, and for the most part that's all bull. But the fact that these cats continue to run the street and run their mouth, and there's no consequence to their action regardless of what may transpire in the future, which I don't know, because I don't really get into that. When it comes to politics, I avoid it like the plague, just simply for the fact I don't need it. I'm an individual. Regardless of my affiliation, I'm an individual, so if I have an issue with an individual, I'm going to handle it the way I choose to handle it. For the most part, cats don't really come with the issue anyway, so I tend to bypass them, or if they're not physically in my face saying what they need to say, I tend to bypass them, because at the end of the day, most of these cats are going to try to pull trump cards. It's been happening, and that's why I don't really get a chance to upload as much, because you constantly got these individuals on my channel spreading false information, as far as like, when it comes to politics, I'm too much into politics. And then what they'll understand is like, I have homies that are incarcerated as well, and I got homies, what I mean? So if there's anything that I would say wrong, it would be addressed right then and there, and then things would get back to my homies, and then it would come back to me. But I say all this to say this: if you're an individual that really proclaims to be about his business, and you're pushing for issues, handle them issues yourself. Don't use trump cards. I mean, that to me, that's a bitch move. That's like me going, and since I'm scared to handle with you, I go call all my homeboys in order to, somehow intervene or whatever, and that's for the, and like I said, I'm getting sidetracked, but basically this whole video is about the whole landscape when it comes to, the political agenda and people using certain cards in order to, try to get people out the way, and not like physically, but just like, try to, you got these cats using dumb tactics as if they're God, you know what I mean? Which for some people it ends up bad on them because, you're crying over nothing. But that's the whole reason why I don't put out videos as much as I want to, and plus I'm just focusing on getting my body right, dealing with family issues as always, and just really trying to focus on my goals. I'm going to continue to upload videos, but as far as like certain individuals I may have dealt with in the past, I no longer deal with them because they became crybabies. And that's the whole thing about this whole YouTube thing. There's a lot of individuals that they're so how should I say, they're so scared that you will surpass them, which, to be honest, I surpassed a lot of cats. Even if my channel is only 25,000, it just, our names ring different bells, you know what I mean? That's why I don't fuck with certain cats. Even that, people tend to ask me like, hey, what happened to this fool? What happened to this fool? Jealousy. Basically, there's a lot of cats that are jealous at the fact that I started to come up and that people mention my name more than theirs. I've popped up the spots and people will treat me better than they treat the people that they came to see, but that's just the way it is. I'm a very likable individual, and for the ones that don't, that's what it is. It's either you like me or you hate me. So that's the only two energies I get. But for the most part, the people that proclaim they hate me never really do anything anyway, to be honest. I mean, you figure I've been on YouTube how long, and a certain cats, well, a lot of cats that said what they will do have yet to do anything. And I still walk around. I'm still out here in Palmdale, and I'm still doing my thing. But yeah, that's basically it, you know what I mean? For the people that ask about, certain things, that's why I haven't really been uploading this much, because, people are bitches, and that's the only thing they can do, is try to use shit in order to stop you from shining. That's basically it. You enjoy the rest of your night. I will continue with a video tomorrow, but this is just, I had to put that out there for the individuals I fuck with heavily. On that note, your boy Zion, I'm out.